Pope Benedict breaks his silence to call a recent rumor about him absurd after allegations surfaced in an Italian paper that Benedict had been forced to quit. The Pope Emeritus denied it in a letter to the website Vatican Insider, writing, quote, "The only condition for the validity of my resignation is the complete freedom of my decision. Speculation regarding its validity is simply absurd." Dan Brown, you taking notes here? Meanwhile, in Pope Francis news, he met his mini-me, a very unhappy little boy dressed as him. But let's go back to that first story and get some perspective from the Reverend James Martin, editor-at-large of America Magazine and author of the forthcoming book, Jesus, A Pilgrimage. Reverend, thanks for being here. I think some people might argue that it's a little beneath a pope, even a Pope Emeritus, to respond to rumors. Why write this letter? Why dignify the chit-chat?
Well, in a sense, he's trying to help Pope Francis, I think, by putting to rest the rumors that he was forced to resign. The Pope had actually talked about this a few years before with some of his assistants, and he felt that he was too old to continue, so, why not put those rumors to rest and help the Pope?
Is that your understanding of why he stepped down, because he was too old?
Yeah, and, he had even been talking about Pope John Paul when he was ill, the possibility of Pope John Paul stepping down, and I know for a fact from speaking to some high-level clerics that he was talking about this a while before some of these scandals broke. So he's a very free man, and I thought it was a very humble thing for him to do.
And explain to us why he felt the necessity to address the way he dresses.
Well, there was a little confusion because people thought, why should he dress in white? He's no longer the Pope. But his point was, when I became Pope, I got rid of all of my old clothes, and this is really the only thing he said that he had left in his closet, so it was for practical purposes, he said.
Tell us about the relationship between Pope Francis and Benedict. Are they close at all?
They are close, and I also know that they see each other fairly frequently. Pope Francis has very warm affection for Pope Benedict, and this is not just PR. I know this, from friends who are in Rome. There you see a picture of them embracing. Sometimes Pope Francis will go and visit Pope Benedict in his residence, and I know for a fact also they say the rosary together quite frequently. So it's a very warm relationship, and who else can Pope Francis look to for experience?
This was a rare public announcement by Pope Benedict since stepping down. Do you think this is just a sign of what's to come? He's going to continue to write things, continue to address rumors or talk about issues in the news?
No, I don't think so. I think he's going to stay with his original promise to withdraw. He's really been out of the public limelight. He will probably show up at the canonization on April 27th of Pope John Paul and Blessed John the 23rd. But for the most part, he is, leading a life of prayer and reading and quiet, which befits an 86-year-old man.